Sure. All right. Anyway, and again. All right. I'm hearing James Franco when he was doing his acting class, and it is an acting class. Right? I don't know anything more than that. Right? Some girls he got to do what? Pose topless. Some girls he didn't let wear the guard thing, but there's a reason for that too. He simulated licking it. Right? Now the thing is, unless you touch the vagina, is that really licking it? No. Why isn't that wrong? It's called simulation, right? It's also a part of acting, right? You don't touch it. If you don't touch it, you don't need the guard, right? Right. Sort of simple as that. Now, that might be the point there, right? He was trying to make to the young women he was teaching about how to do an orgy scene in a movie. Like Caligula, for example. Now, in Caligula, though, did they really have sex? Yeah. Now, if he just simulated licking her, that's what he meant. That's why he didn't need the card. Now, as far as the girl topless, if he didn't say, you can always say that, right? Yeah, that would be a problem. But if he did say, you can say no at any time to any scene you don't want to do, and that just went in one ear and out the other, they're being bad students and trying to get their teacher in trouble, right? You know what I mean? And that's the point. Now, when he did that class, you got to cover certain information before you get to that class, where she's topless or not, right? Right. Well, I'm sure in the before classes, he will tell you what some actresses will choose to go topless, and some actresses will choose not to go topless. It's your choice, right? I'm sure he said that before he even did that with that girl. Now, if it went in one ear and out the other, she felt pressured somehow. How? You got to explain this stuff in detail if he really did that, right? You can't just say it casually. Oh, he maybe, closed topless for a nude scene. Well, did he force you to do the nude scene, or was it part of the acting class, right? It was part of the class. It's not singling you out. Anyone could have been selected for that particular scene they're into, right? Whatever y'all are enacting then, right? And the difference is what? Is it part of a movie? Yes. Now, if he was doing the guard thing, and, sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. Like in Caligula, they didn't have none of that shit. Now they did. Nor in A Clockwork Orange. When he did the scenes with the two girls having sex with him after he met them at the shopping mall or wherever the hell they was, he had sex with them in sort of a orgy fashion too, right? Sort of menage a trois. Them he didn't, right? Whole point. Between sexual harassment and teaching someone in an acting class nude scenes and orgy scenes as part of an acting class. Which you might have to do. If you don't have to do it, that's different, right? And it's still your choice, right? I'm sure James never told them, you have to do it or you don't have to do it, right? It's your choice. Now, if he told them that, the girls who did the scene with him had the choice. And if he told them not to wear the guard, he explained that probably to them too, right? Simulating is what? Not even touching it with your tongue. Right. Like I told you about my stepdaughter, I only simulate licking her one time. How close is that? Can you tell? That's simulating licking my finger. Don't mean I licked it. Don't mean you licked it. But it's really on an angle, can you tell? I didn't do it only one time. I did it multiple times. I'm looking up and down. Even if I touched it the last time, that's oral sex. Licking it one time, see if she'll let you, but not touching it is not oral sex. know what I mean? Know what I mean? Or like that, one time, is not licking it, is not licking it. It's to see if you have a camera watching me in case you were trying to entrap me so I can trap you in your own trap. See, I know things you don't think I know. Because I grew up in the South, because you grew up in the South. I read about sex manuals. I read about how to simulate things and not simulate things and what you can do and what you can't do. Now, when Rutger Hauer and Jennifer Jason Leigh had some of their sex scenes, I'm sure it was probably real. I'm sure it was probably real by some of the way they were doing things. That's why people think Billy Bob and Holly Berry, for example, had sex because of the angles of the camera. Right? Now, that's Billy Bob was soft, you know what I mean? That's not impossible. That's not impossible. But, it's like an Holly Berry. I wouldn't be soft with Holly Berry at all. Sorry. But you know what I mean? If I was doing sex scene with Holly Berry, Billy Bob would have to be a cool motherfucker to not get hard around but Holly Berry. She was trying to simulate sex with you. On top and on top. Yeah, right. But I'm sure that was because of how her husband was doing her and shit like that. And he's probably having problems with Angelina, so they probably, did the scene. But it's not impossible, right? But he would have to be soft and have something over the penis so it wouldn't go in, right? We know that too. But it would only have to be how big? Like that, if you're soft. Unless he's, larger than average, but anywhere from 40 inches. But if you do it a certain way, and the woman's on top of him a certain way, he even got to be hard, or you can hide the whole penis. Depending on what size. Now, I don't know the size of Billy Bob Thornton's penis, and I don't care. I don't know if they really had sex or not. And it's an acting job, right? But a lot of people assume they did, right? I don't. Though Hallie's married and all that shit too, and I don't mess with her either. I don't mess with her either. Or Billy Bob. I'm just telling you, you're judging by sight, not by faith in the person you're trying to set up in a bad situation anyway, which is entrapment. And like I said, watch the tape 1,000,000 times, but unless you ask the girl that night, and I'm sure her mother did, and unless you have proof with the saliva being on the vagina, I didn't touch it, I simulated her. To see if you were setting me up. To get you to try and get me when you were the bad guy. To prove you and my ex-wife were trying to fuck me over and maybe even abort my son and give you just that little bit of gleam of hope, right? That I simulated licking it but didn't touch it. If you have that on camera. But you're not supposed to, because you're not supposed to. Or you're entrapping me. Because I didn't see 1984 and 1985, dickheads! I'm not a fucking movie buff, assholes! I didn't tell you that the whole fucking time. I watch movies. I know what you're up to. Whether you tell me about your temptation or not. I know what Joseph from Potiphar's wife means. I know what Cain killed Abel over. Do you? And guess who's the new Abel? Shane. Guess who keeps refusing their advancements? Shane. Guess who has the power of the resurrection through Jesus' death, burial, and resurrection, and being baptized into his name? Right. Shane. Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, and the Lord Jesus Christ. Both names, both titles. Any title you want to give him, I know now. Now. And I'm resurrecting quicker now than that. I'm coming to faster, right? Took me like 4 hours the first time, right? Had to get all the way into the hospital, right? So that might be did a lot more damage to me too, and Jesus just sort of had to let it work out in my mind to where he brought me to. I had no memory of it, right? Reason for that, reason for that. And I trust Jesus, not you motherfuckers. At all, at all. No, again, we're supposed to be talking hypothetical because a 4-year-old, under any circumstances, should not be in there with her sleeping stepdad on the couch, alright? Who was there for over a week, I know. Now, well, that's who's setting up. Mom. Why? To get rid of her husband and her son in one shot? In one shot. But Daphne wouldn't do that. I wouldn't want her to do that. And even if she was to do that, I would ask the child who showed that, right, Daphne, to fuck up her world and make her have the boy. What not, Daphne? Because I would know what she was up to. I would know what she was up to. And she think I wouldn't. She lived with me for 6 fucking months. And, she should have known better than that shit. She should have known better than that shit. Sure, I'm not perfect, and sure, I took back the watch I gave to Sheena, but there's a reason for that, right? I let her keep the other stuff. I just wanted the watch back because I said it to Sheena. I didn't want to cheat the relationship. I thought better of that. Sorry, Daphne, you didn't understand, or you didn't ask me why I took it back. I would have explained it to you then. That was the only thing I wanted back, right? There's a reason for that. There was a reason for that. If you had asked me, But I also gave you the glass flower and a card and something like that. I wanted you to keep the glass flower. I didn't ask for that back. But the watch was a gift to Sheena. I figured, no, I better take that back, right? No, I didn't take it all back. I just took the watch back. I gave it to Sheena, and I figured I shouldn't re-gift that, right? But I'll let you keep the other stuff, right? Remember that, right? And like I said, let them go. They're driving you batshit, Daphne, if it's you. I wouldn't touch your daughter, even simulating it. I would know better. And she ain't supposed to be in there with me, right? You know that. That means someone coached her to come in there to me, right? She's saying grandma and shit like that. That's why I have to bring her in there to you. I don't have a choice. Now, if you are asleep, you're supposed to be asleep, right? But that's what they wanted, right? Well, that takes a lot of coaching, that, right? And what I mean by that is one party, the female, has to be in there in the bedroom, right? The other party, the male, has to be in there sleeping on the couch like I was, right? For like a week. And again, it would have to be done to where the child was used to going in there to the male, right? And the male would have to undress her to a certain point, simulate licking her too, and simulate showing her penis too, right? In order for them to, no, I did it. or not. Like I told you, what did I tell you, Daphne? She just came in there and woke me up, right? And the way she woke me up, her vagina was in my face. Well, if you wanted to watch the TV and I'm laying there, I was going to head out towards the, facing away from the back of the couch. So, of course, her vagina would be facing. Wasn't. And how do you know what she would do to wake me up? How did you know she would even come in there to me? Who the hell are you? You don't know this shit. You can't tell if I'm making up the story or if it's real. Only Daphne and me know what happened. And you're also trying to make me accuse her, which I'm not. I'm asking questions. No harm in asking the questions, which usually have a what? Yes or no answer. Right. You're right if she was what? Awake. I don't know if she was awake, but I do know I'm supposed to bring her back in there to her. Awake or asleep. And if she said, Grandma, I knew I had her either way, right? But I don't know. I'm guessing some of it. I'm trying to figure out why you're so obsessed with this idea. And I don't know who the hell it is, and I don't know who the hell it is. If it is Daphne, she knows, even if she had the video of it, there's no proof I really licked her too, right? And hopefully she would drop it, right? After all explained, right? And simulating it one time does not mean you touched it. Touching it if you want to say even one time, might could be pedophilia, I guess, right? But would I even touch it if I figured she was doing that or someone was doing that? Of course, I didn't know who was doing that. Again, what would I ask the child? Who shows you that? Who shows you that? Now, maybe, yeah, I would think it would be Daphne. Maybe, yeah, I would think it would be Grandma. Yeah, maybe I would think it would be Sal and his girlfriend. But again, there's no proof of it, even if she said Grandma. Know what I mean? Know what I mean? Don't prove who did it. Even Grandma and Grandpa might could have done. I don't know. I don't know. But I didn't do it. I didn't do it. It's just a guess. It's just a guess. Now, how many people, though, how many times, though, would you have to be familiar enough with that to even come in there to me, right? On her own. Anyway. And only Daphne knows if she was awake or not. That's why I'm not even asking her about that, right? Because either she will tell me if she was awake or she will tell me if she was asleep, right? And when I went in there, she was laying in bed, so I just assumed she was asleep, right? I ain't causing the trouble. If I was to go in there, I'm sure she would be asleep. I'm sure she would be asleep. You know what that means, you know what that means. It's not a definite, oh, I remember her being there asleep either. I know what you're going for. I know what you're going for. Oh, you crazy. You never going to do it. And, no. I'm sure because of the time at night, it will probably occur, possibly around 11 p.m. Hopefully she'll be asleep. Though I do know sometimes if you're a light sleeper, you can wake up suddenly any time of the night, right? But I don't know. But Daphne knows when I go to sleep, I go to sleep. Even if it's a minute after I turn off the TV. I know. Once I'm out, right? It don't take me long at all, right? Now, if the light was on or off, I think the only reason I would leave the light on or off is for her or Amanda to go to the bathroom, right? And I know I would probably turn off the TV and go to sleep. That's all I know. That's all you know. Anything else will seem either dreamlike or fantastic or something that shouldn't even happen. And I don't even know for sure that's what happened, right? I'm guessing. And when you guess, you also what? Seem like you're lying, seem like you're lying. And the reason I'm guessing is you're wanting me to tell you a story. Well, I can make up a story after 3 years of being accused of it on YouTube, right? I can make up a story, right? And act like I'm confessing it too, right? After 3 years of saying one story on YouTube and explaining that to you over and over again, right? Oh no. Only way you can know, and me not know, or the child know, or Daphne knows, if you were trying to videotape it inside the house, right? But there we go back to the who was awake, who was asleep, and who was about to go to sleep, right? Now, with me, when I'm about to go to sleep, I'm what? Tired enough to sleep. Tired enough to sleep. So, again, even if I was asleep a minute or so, right? That's enough for me to be asleep and then wake up with the child in there with me and think it was a dream anyway. You know the difference there too? I know if you had the camera, it would have to be somewhere where you could view me, the child interacting, because the only place we can really do it would be maybe in front of the TV. And again, that's what just common sense. Yeah, it is. And of course, I wouldn't put her on the couch to have sex with her. I'd sort of maybe bring her over in the middle of the floor or something, right? To see if she would let me. Difference there too. And if she was sitting there to me by Daphne or something like that, or Coach or something like that, right? Only reason she would do that, right? And that's what I mean. That's what you mean. Was I testing y'all's reaction as well as Daphne's and hers? I don't know. When I went in there and told her to, right? Because like I said, Don't try to entrap someone or you might fall into your own trap. Another warning by the Bible, because you can fall in, especially, right? I think it's in Psalms or Ecclesiastes, Proverbs. Listen to what he says. Anyone who wants to try and entrap someone. And I read it at least once after Christian Fellowship Church, right? But here's one for Mr. Trump, though. There be three things which go well, yea, four are comely and going. A lion which is strongest among beasts, as far as Israel knew at the time. Tiger might compete a little bit now that we know about them. And turneth not away for any. A greyhound, and he go also, and a king against whom there is no rising up. If thou hast done foolishly in lifting up thyself, or if thou hast thought evil, lay thine hand upon thy mouth. Surely the churning of milk bringeth forth butter, and the wringing of the nose bringeth forth blood. So the forcing of wrath bringeth forth strife, sir. You know what wrath is? Anger. That people won't let go of too. You're holding on to anger, and when you hold on to anger, it becomes what? Wrath. Here's another one. Psalms 28, 21. To have respect of person is not good, for a piece of bread that man will transgress. Alright, here it is. Chapter 28, verse 10. Whosoever causes the righteous to go astray in an evil way, he shall fall himself into his own pit. Who says I'm not? Trying to find a girlfriend in this world with all the insanity in this world is just normal. It's just normal. But the upright shall have good things in possession. The rich man, here's another one for you, Mr. Trump, is wise in his own conceit. But the poor that hath understanding searcheth him out. When righteous men do rejoice, there is great glory. But when the wicked men rise, a man is hidden. He that covereth his sins shall not prosper, but whosoever confesseth and forsakes them shall have mercy. Even if I was to simulate licking her vagina one time, or if you want to pretend I touched it one time, that I can repent of very easily and confess very easily if I did it, which I don't recall. Fully. Seems somewhat of a haze if it was to happen anyway. After the fall. Though, if you're trying to make me remember it, I kind of sort of do, I guess. I don't know. I might could have done that, right? Sure, I admit it as much as I can remember of it. Which ain't much, which ain't much. I might could have simulated licking her. I might touch her small, like that, but there would probably still be saliva on it. That wouldn't last long, but oh well. Either. I know that too. I know that too. But is a child supposed to let a strange white man sleeping on the couch do that to her without being coached? No. No. Right. And how many white men or light-skinned men are in her life? Her granddad and her dad. I'm sort of in between them two or two, right? Right. So I'm just saying. Cast no stones in glass houses, Mr. Walker and Sal, who had the girl longer than me, and knew she was coming down too. Oh no. I couldn't catch her, but y'all sure as hell could have. And half of it, the grandma might could have done. I don't know. I don't accuse. But I will ask a child that did that with me, who showed you that. I do admit that. I do admit that. Not that I remember any of that either. Because it wouldn't even take less than, like I said, 30 seconds or a minute. And again, I'd just be happy to be out of there. And that I didn't do nothing with her. Because that's not doing anything. That's not doing anything. You can be mad all you want. But you would touch it, probably doing it more times than one to catch her to come in there to me. Know what I mean? I would only done it one time out of the many times you would have to coach her to do that with me, right? You know what I mean? Because a child, and this is the male mind problem, does not approach an adult sleeping in a separate room for sex. Get that through your dumbass thick male mind skulls. Children, unless coached, are never sexually aggressive with another male, period, because grandma should teach her not to do that, period, and not be in cahoots with grandpa. Either. We just know that, right? Anyone with an ounce of a brain would know that, Grandma. Walker, Barbara, I know your first name. Just not your husband. You want to clue them on that too? Right. And like I said, but the problem is, Daphne would be sleeping in one room and me the other, right? So the coaching would have to be either knowing that, meaning someone also put her up to leave me in Tennessee, right? And starting the fight there too, right? Knowing my reaction would be to sleep on the couch, right? Putting me in the least vulnerable position I could be in, though, too. Now, maybe they wanted me to take the second bedroom, but I need better than that shit. Why does a husband sleep on the couch? For two reasons. In case, not his stepdaughter, but his wife wants to come in there to him in the middle of the night. They can have sex on the couch. Not the child. And also, the daughter is in there with her mom, right? So he don't even expect the child to even be in there, right? So he's just leaving on the couch, right? For 4 days. Because he was with dad, too. Good old dad. But coaching is not possible by one person, and that's only one person, Shane. Shane had no prior access to the child, dumbasses. Only Sal or Granddad, or Grandma, or Grandpa. Not Shane or Daphne, and again, Unless they're what? Trying to bring me down. Trying to bring me down, right? Trying to discredit me, trying to get me in trouble, right? Well, see, that's the point. That's still 5-1, 5-1. And telling their story first and me not even worried about it for 10 years, right? Like I got on YouTube, so you got on YouTube. Now, if they're yelling their story from the pulpit, and I don't even have one yet, because I failed 3 stories, again, trying to recuperate from that, and, but not 100%, of course. That's the whole point about hypotheticals, right? I can make up a hypothetical, so can you, right? But the proof is in the pudding, right? If there's no DNA on the child's vagina or the floor that night, I didn't have sex with her, right? No, you might have wanted me to, I did not. Whole point. I even gotta look you in the eye. I know I didn't. Nothing to lie about. I would know what was going on. I was know what was going on. See, they're hoping the audience will think, oh, he's so crazy, he's so insane. No, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck they're talking about, right? Because I wouldn't remember it anyway. Because of what? 335. And I also could have talked about it there. If I somehow landed the fault, like I said. That would be a 5th or 6th suspect, right? Right? And like I said, beware of your own entrapments, or you'll fall into them yourselves. That can be James Franco too, right? I don't know if he's innocent and all that. I don't know if he's guilty and all that, right? And the thing is, he knows. I know. And of course, that's how you do your clash, right? You got to let the person know if they don't feel uncomfortable, they can stop at any time. And I guess the girls sort of felt that way, James, or they wouldn't be coming forward, huh? I don't know. What I mean, do. If they didn't feel like they were in a safe environment for your acting class, you're sort of right and you're sort of wrong, right? So, of course, the first thing you should tell them is if they say no at any time and want to stop, they can stop any scene, right? That's what a good acting coach will say. Will say first. Now, I don't know the order. I don't know when that happened during your class. And that's all I can say about it. I don't know all the details, right? But the story itself is enough to catch the public eye. But only you and the girls know if this is bullshit on whoever's in this bullshit. That's all I know. That's all you know. Have a good day.